What is going on, guys? One more here, guys, a brand new Busch Gardens video, and in this video we're going to be talking about how Busch Gardens could expand going into the future. We are starting another year of this Busch Gardens content, so if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like, thumbs up button and hit that bell button so you're notified when Busch Gardens videos are uploaded to the channel, because it's going to be a year full of Busch Gardens stuff in addition to all my other content that I hope you all enjoy. After last week's video, which by the way, let me thank you all for watching last week's video. Right now it's my second biggest Busch Gardens video of all time, and I think it's going to become the biggest Busch Gardens video I've done on this channel. And I was wondering, I'll be honest with you guys, going into this year I was wondering, where does the Busch Gardens content go? Like, obviously the vlogs were going to stay, but the coverage, I was like, I enjoy it, but do I keep doing it? And I did this video and I'm like, all right, let me just see how I feel about it. And you guys have absolutely loved that video. The reception to it's been great. So let me just tell you guys, these sit down talk videos about Busch Gardens, they're not going anywhere, because I love talking about this park and I love that you guys love these videos. So that you guys have told me through the views and the likes and the comments that you guys want more, and gosh dang it, I'm just going to give you a whole lot more. So we're going to be bringing a whole bunch of Busch Gardens videos to the channel. Now, this is coming a week after the last one. I'm not saying these videos are going to be weekly. They're going to come as they come. That's how it's always been for the past year and a half. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you keep watching, and I hope these videos keep informing you about Busch Gardens. You're probably wondering, what do I mean by Busch Gardens expanding? Okay, after last week's video, I was talking about the Big Bad Wolf and the artwork that came with it, and you guys really liked it, but you guys expressed a concern in several comments about the land use of Busch Gardens, that we couldn't expand to another country, that Big Bad Wolf, because it is taking up a lot of space, because of the nature of the ride being very windy and wide turns and everything, it's taking up a lot of real estate over in that corner behind Oktoberfest. You guys expressed concern that the park can no longer expand into maybe a new country, or just expand in general because that ride takes up so much space. Now, I've touched on this before, but I figured I'd give a video dedicated to it for anyone that is curious about it. Busch Gardens has land. Busch Gardens has a lot of land. If you walk around that area, it doesn't seem as big when you're not walking in it, but if you're walking to it, whether you're on your way to Monster Manor, or back when they had a haunted house in the Drakenfire, now Big Bad Wolf station, there's a lot of room over there. Busch Gardens also, I would say, are some of the kings at filling space without being too crowded. They can put a bunch of coasters in one spot, but you still feel there's this natural harmony to everything. It doesn't feel overcrowded. I think when you're walking on the bridge, you got Loch Ness here, Alpengeist here, Griffin there, but it doesn't feel too much. It doesn't feel too congested. Everything is very well placed around the real estate. But you guys do raise a legitimate concern, because Busch Gardens spoke about it at the Membership Appreciation Weekend thing back in November 2023. They spoke about possibly years down the line. They said that for a couple of reasons. One, they don't really need to right now. They're just doing a Big Bad Wolf. They're just focused on really adding rides. And when you add a country, that's a lot of money. First, you got to budget that, and United Parks has to give them the spending to go do that. So that would probably slow down new rides coming to the park. The budget for building stuff would go to a new country. So you got to think about all the facades, a couple of restaurants, all the restrooms, the plumbing they have to do, the electrical work. It's so much that they have to do, land treating. It's a lot. So it's a multi-year process to even, if they wanted to add a new country, to add a new country. Now, the second question is, where does it go? Here's the thing about Busch Gardens. They kind of do what Disney does very well. They keep you very contained. When you're in the park, you feel like this is all there is. So when you're walking around the park, you do kind of look around like, where could you add any rides? When you ride the train, you probably have the same thought. Like, you drive around and you're like, this feels pretty contained. I don't see where you add another country. If you take the Rhine River Cruise, I highly recommend it. It's a great time. Kind of get a little bit sense of some more land that Busch Gardens owns, because you got that whole plot back there. Now, I'm not saying there's a whole bunch of space, but it's a decent amount of space. There's also this area that you cannot see, and it's hard to identify unless you go on Google Earth. But there's this area behind the area where Big Bad Wolf is that's kind of a junkyard. There's a bunch of old ride artifacts back there. I know at one point there were Escape from Pompeii boats, old Lascaux boats, pieces of Mock Tower, and you can also see some pieces of Mock Tower over by Invader. It's kind of this junkyard for defunct Busch Gardens stuff. I made a little bit of joke about that junkyard in the Busch Gardens 2024 Coastal Roundtable, which, if you guys enjoyed that video, the 2025 Coastal Roundtable will be coming soon. That junkyard is real, and it's just there. So if they purge that junkyard and you cut down some more trees, you have land for another country. Here's a problem though, the Kingsmill Residents. It was a big problem when Invader was being built. They were like, is this going to be too loud? In addition to other variables outside of Busch Gardens, Williamsburg itself. Another reason why we aren't getting an RMC at the moment because of the Kingsmill Residents, because that would be a massive wooden coaster and they don't want that noise complaint. Now, if I was Busch Gardens, I'd give them a bottle of wine and some earplugs at their doors and say, we're building it no matter what, but they have a little bit more respect. When Busch Gardens comes to expanding, it's then the question becomes, all right, what do you expand into? Because there's been the idea that maybe they just expand Oktoberfest. But Oktoberfest is already pretty big, right? It's an extension of Germany, and it's just a massive thing. I don't think they need to add any more to Oktoberfest. But you are kind of backing yourself into a corner with this area like you do with Festa Italia. So you'd have to make it something worthwhile, something that you have a lot of attractions with to pull people back there, because people aren't going to go back there. The Big Bad Wolf, it's going to be intertwined with that land. You can always build around it. We don't know exactly how the layout is because we haven't ridden Big Bad Wolf yet. We don't know exactly how to, but we do know how the walkway is. And I'm pretty sure, I've said it before, I'm pretty sure it might not be this year, but soon they're going to start building a lot of stuff in that area to disguise the big green Verbolten building you see when you're going to the Big Bad Wolf. Because Busch Gardens likes to hide the outer world and keep you really in the experience of Busch Gardens. The only flip-flop to that, in addition to what is going to be the big green building of Verbolten, is the big gray warehouse looking part of Dark Castle, which why they didn't put facades on all of that back in 2005, I don't know. It's an eyesore. You see this beautiful castle, warehouse, castle, warehouse. But when you're riding rides around the park, they do a fantastic job of hiding you from the outside world. Really, the only other one is Apollo's Chariot, where you can see the parking lots. But to me, that doesn't take me out because that's still Busch Gardens. Now, another thing Busch Gardens can do to expand, it's not just that area, is the Backstage Area, where there's a lot of warehouses and stuff. Disney is very known to do this. They build into their parking lots. They build into backstage areas and say, all right, people, move your offices, move all the storage stuff, move it out the way. We are expanding here. You get more visuals of that area, obviously, if you work there. For me, I don't work there, but on the way to the 5K for the Fiend's Frenzy, they drove us around the backstage area. And you see, there's a lot of just, it's basically a big storage area that can be condensed or sent elsewhere outside of the park. And you're probably like, oh, they wouldn't do that. I'm sorry. Do you know what corporations like? They like money. And you know what that big plot of leftovers is doing? Not making money. So if they see that land and they're like, ooh, we can make money here, they're going to clear that land out, build something, and make money from that spot. Where there's grass, there's money to be made. That's how it is with theme parks. Where there's land, there is opportunity. And some of you might be like, well, Busch Gardens is good as it is. At the end of the day, Busch Gardens is going to keep growing. They want to keep adding rides, but eventually they're going to get overcrowded, and Busch Gardens does not want to overcrowd their space. Like I said, I feel like they take a lot of pride in the fact that it's not overcrowded while keeping a bunch of rides. And eventually, coasters are going to start overlapping with each other. And they do a really good job spacing out the coasters and giving every person that goes the ability to really traverse the park without being hit by a coaster everywhere you go. And I've spoken before, I've spoken in a video where I talked about what could the future be for the Dragonfire IP at the park. I think there's a lot of flat rides. I think Busch Gardens wants to bring another 4D dark ride or some type of simulator attraction back to the park. But I don't think it would be one that would go into the old Battle for Ire building. I think there will be something that comes in there. I think they're probably going to make another attempt at a simulator ride in there. I don't know when, but I'm talking ride that you go through, like Dark Castle. Now, for that, you have to build a massive show building. So they're going to have to clear a big plot of land to be able to, A, build that building, and B, hide that building from the eye of everyone that's traversing the park. So to do that, they can't just build it into this backstage area. I mean, they could, but I don't think they would. Not for that. Maybe like a flat ride, maybe like another, I wouldn't say a drop tower, but maybe one of the things that spin at the top. Look, I love Busch Gardens. I love theme parks. I'm not educated on the proper terms. I think Busch Gardens wants to add another water ride in the relatively near future. And to do that, you also have to have a lot of land. And that takes a lot of plumbing work and electrical work. Like I said, there's years of permits and building before you can even start on a new country. So I don't know the exact parameters of what the land at United Parks owns. But what I can tell you from people I've spoken to and things I've seen in the past, they own a good piece of land, and then you're told, hey, there's a junkyard there. Then you see pictures of the junkyard, and you're like, oh, they could expand there if they wanted to. Because you're like, well, where would they put all the stuff? They'll buy a warehouse somewhere else and ship it to it. They've had no problem with that in the past. Think about the Curse of Dark Castle artifacts and stuff from former rides. They might donate it to the roller coaster museum, put it in a warehouse somewhere, lock and key where no one can find it, no one knows about it. They'll do that if they see opportunity for money. At the end of the day, do I believe they're going to expand? Yes. Do I believe we're going to get a new country? Yes. Do I believe it's going to happen before 2030? No. I think they want to put something in Da Vinci's Cradle spot. I think they want to get that done. I think they want to figure out what they're doing with the old Battle for Ire building. I think they want to put something in Mock Tower spot. And in between this, we're going to get new coasters. So when you look at all the facts, I don't see us getting a new country or a big expansion anytime soon, especially because there have not been any permits whatsoever from what I can tell. And if I did know any permits, I wouldn't tell you. But I do believe that the park is looking into it, and they are planning for a long-term future plan to expand the park, because you're going to have to expand it to keep not just overcrowding of the coasters and rides, but overcrowding of the people. Because when you open rides, you expand the capacity of the park. The problem is you're not expanding the width of the park, if you know what I'm saying. So people are still going to be contained, and you're adding more people to that mix. So you're going to have to be able to build something to push people elsewhere. You need to be able to push a couple thousand people in another direction to keep a natural flow going to the park so it doesn't become congested like Hollywood Studios at Disney World or any Disney World park. There's plenty of opportunity for land. It's just going to take years of work to prepare the land to be able to build a country on it. What countries do I think it would be? No clue. I think a lot of people want Spain. I'm kind of in the Spain realm. I want something with pirates, man. I want something with pirates. Give me pirates. That's all I want. Some people have spoken about the Netherlands. Some people talk about Denmark, Sweden. It's a lot of options. You got plenty of options. I think Spain is probably the favorite, if there was one. To answer you guys' questions, Busch Gardens has a lot of land, both filled up with trees and filled up with old storage stuff. They can clear it out, and they can expand the park and make a new country, because they don't need a whole lot of space for a new country. Look at Ireland and Scotland. But I think they're going to need a lot of land, because I see whatever the next country is, it's not going to be an Ireland level. It's going to be a major expansion with major attractions, probably another big coaster that's probably going to hug the Rhine River. And then I think there's going to be another 4D dark ride that you move through, and that's going to take up a lot of space. So it's going to be a major expansion when that happens. But like I said, I don't see that happening until the 2030s, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Only people that do know are Busch Gardens. So thank you all for watching this video. I know this was probably a lot more informational than what you typically like, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are maybe excited for the potential long-term future of the park. I know I am. I can't wait to see what this park's going to look like 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. But let me know what you guys would want if the park were to expand. What kind of rides would you want? What country would you want? What restaurants would you want? Let me know. I'm very interested, and I will definitely talk to you guys in the comments down below and give you guys my thoughts and hear you guys out. But thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed. Make sure to hit that bell button down below so if I every single time I brand new video to the channel. Make sure to go stream my song Sunglasses wherever you listen to your music. Make sure to go check out the Patreon. A bunch of exclusive Busch Gardens content there for you guys to see. And my name is Morse, and I'm out. Peace.